Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here today to share with you my journey as an educator, my journey as a person who's been in the corporate for a while. I've been an educator for a long time, 18 years. Okay, I've taught MBA students in various institutions, and I've thoroughly enjoyed the process of being a passionate teacher. It comes naturally to me. And then something happened after 18 years when my kids were very small. The school where I was teaching moved away far from the city. It went into the outskirts, and I had to take a decision. I had to take a decision of a career move, and fortunately, by circumstances, I was pushed into the corporate world. So at the age of 40, for the first time, I got a corporate break. I got a corporate break as a product manager in an IT company. Till then, I was just used to teaching product management from a textbook, all right? And here I was thrown into a situation of being a real-time product manager, and the designation, much to my agony, was technical product manager. I had a BA in economics, an MBA and PhD in marketing. I was hardly technical. So I didn't know what I was getting into when I went into the corporate world. The person who recruited me, okay, unfortunately for me, went into a heart surgery when I joined the company, and I had no one to guide me on what I was supposed to do as a technical product manager. And the word technical was always there behind me, and I was wondering how I'm going to deal with that word technical. I was put onto a project manager who was supposed to give me an orientation of what I'm supposed to do, and the first question this guy asked me when I entered the corporate world on the first day is, so do you have experience in product management? And I'm like, no. So he does a shrug and he walks away. Okay, so that makes my job a little more tougher. A week after that, I was introduced to a product manager sitting in the US. This is a multinational company that I'm talking about. So this product manager gave me a download of the product to which I would be attached to. It was a HR applications product. And he gave me what was known as a functional specification document, and he told me, you play around with the application, and you look at the functional specification document, and you kind of figure out what this application will do for the clients, and we can take it forward from there. So I started this journey of mine all alone, sitting in a cubicle, a teacher for 18 years, a student now, okay, and a student without a teacher. So all I needed to do was to systematically look at the functional specification, which kind of details how the application will work, and also look at the URL that he gave me, where I look at the application and see if there is a sync between the functional specification and the app. Much to my agony again, I found that both the things were very different. Okay, this functional specification defined how the application should work, but when I went and started to look at the application was doing something else. Now I got jittery. So I turned back and looked at this man, the project manager who's been in the company for 9 years, and I asked him, can you please explain this to me? And he says, I don't know. So what do I do? So what do I do? So I wait the whole day because it's a multinational and my co-product manager is sitting in the US. I have to wait till late in the night to connect with him to find out why there is no sync between the functional specification doc and the application. So I'm bluntly told by this guy, well, that's part of your job. You're supposed to update the spec. I said, based on what? I don't have any client interaction. I don't know what the customer wants. How am I supposed to update a spec without a customer interaction? He said, that's not part of your job. Your job is only to update the spec. Someone gave me an idea. They said, go to the application. There's a question mark on the right-hand side corner. It's the help. The help will tell you what the application is supposed to do. So I went to the question mark. I clicked on it, and it didn't tell me anything. So then I said, who created this question mark? Then they said, there's a bunch of guys sitting in that corner, they're called the tech writers. Those guys create the help. Go ask them. So I walked up to the lady there and I said, can you please tell me, your help is not helping me. So she said, what do you mean? I said, go ahead, click on it. So she clicks on it, and it only tells me, okay, from here, you will go there. From there, you will go there. But after going there, what happens there is not said. So I asked her, how am I to know how the application is supposed to behave? She said, well, that's all this, what is the basis on which you wrote the help? She said, the spec, which is the functional specification document. So here I am in a situation as a new employee in an organization, in a new culture, with the average age of my colleagues being 25, and I'm 40, and they're calling me by my first name. All 18 years I've been ma'amed, I've been professored, I've been doctored, and here are these 25-year-old odd guys calling me Ratnaja. I'm like, give me a break, you're as old as my son, okay? So I'm in an alien culture, I'm in an alien industry, I'm in an alien with an alien team, okay? It's a do-die situation for me. I learn and move on, or I back off. And I'm not going to back off, I'm going to move on. So I wait the whole day, and then I see what unfolds after 6 in the night. What I saw that day astounded me. There's this bunch of developers who are talking with the product manager sitting in the US over the telephone call, taking the client requirements, noting it on the piece of paper. Next day morning, when the coders come in, they give that piece of paper to the coders. The coders develop the app, crumple the paper, and shove it away. How will the functional specification doc, which is a doc used by testers, coders, technical writers, ever be updated? How will it ever be updated? How will a new recruitee like me ever know what the application is supposed to do? So I started to learn as a student all over again from each one of my teachers who were 25 years, 23 years, probably 22 years also. Sometimes after a few months passed, the client managers would talk directly to me asking for requirements in the application. For example, there would be a request saying that I need to generate reports from the application, and the report should come in the form of a PDF format with a borderline, all right? Now, I'm not technical, right? I don't know what it entails in terms of cost for creating a borderline report. So I go to the coder and say, hey, can you do this? They say, yes, we can do it. How long will it take for you? 10 days, Ratnaja. 10 days? The client wants it in a couple of days. So when you are non-technical and you've got a bunch of kids playing with a 40-year-old, it's going to be a little tricky, okay? So what I could do is kind of believe them and, bill the client for 10 days or do the learning on my own. And I chose to do the learning on my own. I would walk to another project where similar work was being done, where the kids wouldn't be from this project, and I'd ask them, if someone were to do this borderline, how much time would it take? So that guy will say, it'll take about 2 days. So I come back to this guy, I put 2 days in the project management sheet, and they say, how? We said 10 days, you put 2 days? I said, I know, I'm learning, all right? So this attitude, I think, is very critical for students, for anyone who has to, it has become a norm for you to move from industry to industry much faster than what our generation did. So every time you move into new industry, there's new learning. And when there's new learning, you have to be a student all over again. All right? Is the blue card on? I don't know. I can't see. All right. I'm assuming it is there. So can we see the pictures, please? So when I talk about being a student, in my personal life too, I've been a student. All right? And I continue to be a student. I live in a plot of land where I have a small house. I have a neighbor who has built a multi-storied complex, out of which 3 stories are unauthorized. Okay? My soul tells me to grow a patch of garden with flowers, and I was never able to accomplish that, thanks to my neighbor. There's no morning sunlight coming into my house. and nature doesn't like that kind of an environment. All right? So I became a student once again. How do I grow my patch of garden? How do I cure what I'm enduring? All right? What cannot be cured must be endured is what I was taught, but I said, I'm going to cure this. So I learned through trial and error, through experimentation, through perseverance as a student of gardening to grow my own small garden. And I have accomplished this after 10 years. This is my bloom of last summer. I've also been a student of my own. Can we see the next slide? Of painting. Okay. In life, when you go through ups and downs, there are periods of highs and periods of lows. And during those period of lows, your childhood habits, your childhood, activities that you took up as a child, which gave you a lot of pleasure, come back to you. And in the process of that, I started to relearn how to paint on my own. We can see some more of those. I do a lot of spade painting with knife, and I enjoy the process. So I strongly believe all of us should be students for life, both professionally and personally, no matter what happens. Thank you.